The first time I saw her, everything in my head went quiet. All the tics, all the constantly refreshing images just disappeared. When you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you don't get quiet moments. Even in bed, I'm thinking, did I lock the door? Yes. Did I wash my hands? Yes. Did I lock the door? Yes. Did I wash my hands? Yes. But when I saw her, the only thing I could think about was the hairpin curve of her lips or the eyelash in her cheek, the eyelash on her cheek, the eyelash on her cheek. I knew I had to talk to her. I asked her out 6 times in 30 seconds. She said yes after the 3rd one, but none of them felt right, so I had to just keep going. On our first date, I spent more time organizing my meal by color than I did eating or even talking to her. But she loved it. She loved it that I had to kiss her goodbye 16 times, or 24 times if it was Wednesday. She loved that it took me forever to walk home because there are lots of cracks on her sidewalk. When we moved in together, she said that she felt safe and like no one would ever rob us because I definitely locked the door 18 times. I'd always watch her mouth when she talked, when she talked, when she talked, when she talked, when she talked. When she said that she loved me, her mouth would curl up at the edges. At night, she'd lay in bed and watch me turn all the lights off and on and 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 off. She'd close her eyes and imagine the days and nights were just passing by in front of her. Some mornings, I'd start kissing her goodbye, but then she'd just leave because I was making her late for work. When I stopped at a crack in the sidewalk, she just kept walking. When she said that she loved me, her mouth was a straight line. She told me I was taking up too much of her time. Last week she started sleeping at her mother's place. She told me she shouldn't have let me get this attached to her, that this whole thing was a mistake, but how can it be a mistake that I don't have to wash my hands after I touch her? Love is not a mistake. It's terrible she can find a way away from this, and I just can't. I can't go out and find someone new because I'm always thinking of her. Usually, when I obsess over things, I see germs sneaking into my skin. I see myself crushed by endless amounts of cars, and see, she was just the first beautiful thing I ever got stuck on. I want to wake up every morning thinking about the way that she holds her steering wheel, how she turns the shower off like she's opening a safe, how she blows out candles, 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 blows out. Now I just think of who else is kissing her. I can't breathe because he only kisses her once. He doesn't care if it's perfect. I want her back so bad. I leave the door unlocked. I leave the lights on. Hi, I'm Kenzie Costello, and I am here to present to you about Scrupulosity OCD. Scrupulous OCD is a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder involving religious or moral obsessions. Scrupulosity literally means fearing sin where there is none. Scrupulous individuals are overly concerned that something they thought or did might be a sin or other violation of religious or moral doctrine. The symptoms of this particular OCD are extreme concern over blasphemy, having committed a sin, behaving immorally, purity, going to hell, death, and a loss of impulse control. There are quite a few noticeable behavioral compulsions, including excessive trips to confession, repeatedly seeking reassurance from religious leaders and loved ones, repeated cleansing and purifying rituals, acts of self-sacrifice, and avoiding situations in which they believe a religious or moral error would be especially likely or cause something. Along with the behaviors, there are also mental compulsions, some including excessive praying, repeating passages from sacred scriptures in one's head, and making pacts with God. The frequency and causes of scrupulous OCD are unfortunately not yet known, but psychologists have a strong feeling that it is passed on within genetics. Scrupulosity responds to the same treatments as those with any other form of OCD. Cognitive behavior therapy features a procedure called exposure and response prevention, and is the primary psychological treatment for scrupulosity. The primary drug treatment for OCD is called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. But treatment for scrupulosity may also include consultation from leaders of the patients. There was a young girl named Jennifer Trigg, 12 at the time, now 42, when she became aware of her scrupulosity. Her hands tended to be red and raw from washing them so much. She started scrubbing half an hour before dinner and held her hands up like a surgeon until her family sat down to eat. The hand-washing compulsions began at the time she was studying for her bat mitzvah. She was so worried about being exposed to pork fumes that she cleaned her shoes and barrettes in a washing machine. Trigg stated that, like a lot of people with OCD, she's obsessed about cleanliness. But, due to her reading various Torah portions, she became obsessed with a biblical definition of cleanliness. Family dinners became awkward because she would concentrate so hard on praying for forgiveness that if anyone tried to interrupt her thoughts, she would not respond. Another woman, Barbara, 50, had to first ask to get rid of all of her sins, ask for forgiveness, do it in the right way, and then had to pray for protection. If something happened to her family, she felt it was her fault for not praying in a good enough manner. I hope you enjoyed my video and learned a large amount about Scrupulosity OCD. Thank you!